Earlier today, Raid released a new What's Next in Raid video. Now, there's a lot of buzz about this video because not only does it give us additional details about the upcoming new clan boss that we've been expecting, but it also outlines a whole bunch of changes that are coming to the game with the next patch that we did not expect. Some quality of life improvements, in fact, that we've been asking for a really long time. Now, you can find a link to the video here in-game in your news tab, but I am also going to watch this video with you right now. I'm going to react to it, give you my thoughts on the changes, what else we might expect to see in the future, and why I think these changes are happening right now. I am Colred. This is Colred Plays Raid Shadow Legends. Let's get started. Just a quick channel note. This is my latest collaboration with Ash over on his channel. Now, the video we did for my channel launched a few days before this one, so you may have missed it, but I will include a link in the description of this video so you can go watch it after this one if you are interested. We chose a really cool topic. I list 10 epic champions that are underutilized by players and often overlooked by content creators, but can nevertheless have a great impact on your account. So if you are a mid-game player or a free-to-play player, I don't think you're going to want to miss this one. Thanks so much for the support on that video. Now let's get back to this one. All right, here it is. What's Next in Raid, episode 8. Now, full disclosure, I have watched the opening of this video a few times, but I have not watched the full video. Why have I watched the opening so often? Well, you're going to see for yourself. There's a ton of information that gets previewed right at the top of the video. So we will pause to kind of appreciate what we're being told, and then we'll watch the main video together for the first time, and I will give you my thoughts on it. So let's go ahead and get started.
Hey everyone! The return of this legendary series has long been overdue, and we're thrilled to present a new episode at last. Welcome to What's Next in Raid. We've got a new expansion to Champion gear that'll add a whole new layer of customization.
Okay, so we are getting Relics, and this is a new layer of Champion customization, which is very cool. As a free-to-play player, I love ways to specialize my champions for particular content. I find that really valuable. I hope this isn't just another way to bloat the stats of champions, right? If Relics just give you like another 5,000 HP or, 50 more speed or something, like that's cool, I guess. But I would prefer to have things that like create additional effects, like turn my AoE into a CC, or, add additional ways to get debuffs, or add effects that literally have never existed in the game before. I don't know how they would do that, but it would be cool if this relic system is fairly robust. We'll have to see if they give us more detail in the main portion of the video.
Live Arena reworks with the introduction of...
So they are introducing seasons for Live Arena. I honestly felt like Live Arena should have launched with seasons. Like it's such a standard thing. I'm happy we're getting it, but it feels like a lot of games introduced features early before they're finally polished, because they want players to be like, ooh, new content, and stick around. And then they use the in-game play, like, from players as sort of a live beta. Like, they're testing, they're guinea pigs. They're testing Live Arena on us. They get our feedback, and then they really give us the polished version later. So I'm hoping this improves the whole process, the whole experience of Live Arena, gets more players into it. There are good rewards out there. And there are cool ways you could do seasons. You could have restrictions on champions. You could have a different number of champions. You could give buffs to different factions of champions, or even create combos that would have special effects. So we'll have to see what the video says about Live Arena seasons.
Seasons and some much requested quality of life updates. We're talking background multi-battles, super raids for the king.
Okay. So quality of life upgrades. This is new clan boss, but I'm kind of looking at the closed caption here. We're talking background multi-battles. Background multi-battles are something that's in other games. And basically what it means is you can run like repetitive battles in dungeons or whatever. Like you could run 50 dragon runs or something. And meanwhile, you don't have to watch it. Like you can literally go and play arena, or you can do something else actively. And then when the 50 multi-battles are over, you'll just get your rewards, your XP, your silver, whatever it happens to be. So that should streamline the amount of time we spend in game. And that is such a great quality of life improvement if that's how it operates. In addition, super raids for the campaign, that's another time-saving technique. Not going to be huge if it's just, double. Like, okay, great. Double is okay. But it's better than nothing. So we're definitely going to, benefit from super raids for the campaign. And let's see what else the third thing is. I think there's one more.
Campaign and instant Hydra battles.
Instant Hydra battles. Now, what's happening on the screen is different than what the guy is talking about, right? It just said a new clan boss and new champions. So that's cool. But instant Hydra battles, that's a massive time save. You're going to have to build a full auto team to make it really worthwhile, right? Because if you have a team that you have to set up, or if you have a team that, you really need to manual in order to optimize, then instant Hydra battles are not going to work, just like they don't work in clan boss. But this could potentially save people 6-7 hours a week in some cases. And even for those of us who use full auto teams already, like I do, this could save me at least probably 2 or 3 hours a week of just sitting there and waiting for my Hydra battles to finish. So it'll be interesting to see if the instant Hydra battles still include a chance for a free regroup or not, right? Because if you can instant Hydra battle and then free regroup, then you could do it a couple of times in order to try to get a really good score. So again, we'll see if any of those details are included in this video. But then in addition to what it's saying, the screen has also been showing new clan boss, new champions. We'll see what they have to say about that as well.
And finally, a new challenge awaits all players, but we won't spoil it just yet. Watch this video to find out what it is. Now, let's get down to business. The first big feature we're showing off today is Relics. These powerful new resources give you an insane amount of new customization options to suit how you play Raid.
Relics are highly specialized type of gear. They add a deeper level of champion customization and strategic possibility. You can earn relics from fighting the Chimera and from events, and they can be crafted in the forge. So the new boss is going to give us relics, and it looks like there are little slots there, maybe like gem slots from like Diablo or something like that. I mean, other games use that kind of mechanic. And so looks like they've got stars, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, rarities and all that stuff. So we're going to get these from the Chimera, and then they can also be crafted in the forge. That's pretty cool.
They can increase your champion's stats and provide abilities, new benefits that are similar to passive skills. For instance, a relic may grant a champion an emergency heal whenever they're...
Okay, so this is interesting. So there is going to be stat bloat. There's definitely going to be stat bloat. There always is. But if we can go to this screen, you can see here, this Hallowed Hilt gives a passive benefit. First of all, it gives +3 speed. And it looks like it gives HP at level 9 and resistance at level 15. So I guess it upgrades like regular gear. Whenever the wearer heals an ally with an active skill, has a 25% chance to place the Fervor buff on the ally for 1 turn. Now, the Fervor buff is not currently in the game. So we're also getting a new buff, at least one new buff. There may be other new buffs as well. So your healers place Fervor. Maybe that speeds a champion up or gives them a chance at an extra turn or something. I have no idea. We'll have to see how that plays out. And then we have another one here.
An emergency.
This one, a wearer places a 10% magma shield. That's another buff that we haven't seen before. For 2 turns at the start of the battle. Also places a magma shield buff on the wearer for 2 turns whenever they lose 25% of their HP in a single hit. Now, I don't know what a magma shield is, but it does say shield, so it's probably a way to either prevent damage or mitigate it or do something similar to, a regular shield. So that's kind of interesting. So the relics do have special effects in addition to stats, but there is going to be some stat bloat.
Heal whenever their HP drops below 50%. It might enhance the efficiency of their turn meter manipulation skills, or it could enable a champion to place new and unique buffs. Sounds exciting, right? There's more though. Each relic comes with a specific number of sockets, which you can put gemstones into. Gemstones offer further improvements to relics, adding passive abilities into the mix.
Okay, so this is very much like a Diablo style system. They call them sockets. They put gemstones in there. You can see some interesting ones here, so turn meter effects, damage effects, healing effects, extra turn effects, all sorts of stuff. So you might want to watch this video again and kind of read through the text there. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to let some of it slide past. But we've seen this kind of system before. I think it's cool that they're adding it to Raid. I hope that it's fairly robust with the different options in terms of the sockets, like what gems you can put in there.
A ton here, from mitigating incoming damage to a chance at hitting twice with a default skill when attacking enemies under crowd control debuffs, and so much more.
That's cool.
Abilities from relics and passive abilities from gemstones will work together, so you can mix and match them to create bespoke champion combinations that suit your playstyle. We want relics to open the door for awesome new team combinations that can take on Talaria's toughest challenges. So now you know why you're going to want relics. Here's some finer details about how they work. Both relics and gemstones come in different rarities you're already familiar with: rare, epic, legendary, and mythical. However, gemstones will come in different shapes: circular, triangular, square, diamond, or pentagonal. A gemstone will only fit into a socket that is the
Pentagonal. I don't think it's pentagonal, but okay. So, the colors feel like maybe they're associated with just the rarities, as opposed to like in Diablo where the colors are actually more like the style or the element or the effect of the gem. So the shapes are really what matter, in terms of determining like if you can use it or what kind of buff it's likely to give you.
same shape. You can't force a circular gemstone into a square socket. Relics are a little bit more complex in that they have a rank and level that can be upgraded to make the relic more powerful. But Raid, bro, how do we get them? Great question. The Forge will be your main source of relics, with crafting materials available in Live Arena, the Clan Shop, and other areas of the game. Each crafting material for relics belongs to a specific group and can be used to craft specific relics. Crafting relics will be different from crafting other gear, though. We wanted to keep up the customization, so we're allowing you to mix and match the crafting materials you use to craft relics. Mixing materials will affect the type and rarity of the relic you'll receive, and there's no limit to the rarity and type of materials you can combine when crafting relics.
Okay, so this is interesting. This is kind of like other systems that we've seen where there are recipes to get you certain results. So rather than just have it be like Forge gear where it's like you get one material and then it's just a random roll on rarity and stars, here it's actually, it looks like you can change the chances of what kind of buffs you get depending on the recipe that you use. So that's kind of cool. And again, like we'll have to see how it actually plays out once it's implemented in game.
Keep an eye out for a dedicated guide coming soon where we'll go into more detail about crafting relics. Moving on, we're making some tweaks to Live Arena, starting with the introduction of Seasons, a rework of the gold tiers to give players a different type of challenge. Before you get to gold tier, though, we're increasing the amount of points you gain per victory in silver tier and decreasing the inactivity penalty to just 1 point per day. Once you hit...
That's nice because I like Live Arena, but I'm kind of a casual player. I'm often busy doing content or other stuff. And so I get hit with that penalty fairly frequently, usually a couple of days a week. And I try to avoid it, but it's hard, So I do think the reduction in penalty is kind of nice. Remember, this is Live Arena, so it's not like regular Arena or Classic Arena where your account just stays, like your defense stays in the pool. If you're not actively playing, you're just not in the pool of players. So there's less of a reason to try to penalize somebody out of their tier of Arena. So I do think this is a good change. I also think it's nice that it's going to be easier to hopefully get into gold, which is going to give more player access to seasons, I think, because it sounds like maybe seasons are only available for gold tier.
Hit gold tier, though, that's it. You're in the big leagues and can't drop out again.
Oh, nice.
As for the changes, Live Arena Gold tier is becoming a seasonal league. There'll still be regular rewards like 2 new variable gear sets and materials to craft relics. Details are thin on the ground.
2 new variable gear sets. So we're already getting some specialty sets in Live Arena as rewards, but this is going to be 2 variable. So it's 1 through 9. So it's going to be 9-piece sets. So it sounds like there are at least 2 new sets coming to the game specifically tied to Live Arena. So again, more incentive to get into Live Arena. I'm sorry for the players who don't like PvP. I don't know if there'll be other ways to get that same gear. Maybe there'll be like Decks of Fate or something like that. That'll give you some access to it. But again, I think they're trying to incentivize people to get into Live Arena here, and that's good.
Right now, but you can expect a more detailed update highlights video in the future when we're ready to release this feature. Next up, we're talking about quality of life updates, and we're prioritizing feedback from the community to
I think we're going to see more of this. What I said at the top of the video is I was going to say why I think this is happening and what we're likely to see in the future. I think the sale of Plarium to MTG is going to change some of the philosophy and the approach to the player base from Plarium. Now, I have a whole theory on this. I didn't do a video on the sale of Plarium. I was thinking about it. I wanted to do some research. If you're interested in my thoughts on the sale of Plarium, I think there's a lot that has not yet been talked about by content creators or in the community. There's actually information out there. I did a lot of research, and I found a lot of cool little tidbits that I think can give us some insight into what the direction of Raid is likely to be over the next 1 to 5 years. And I think, like I said, if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments below, and I'll do that video probably next week.
Deliver a few things that should help you save time in Raid. The first feature we're working on is background multi-battles. With so much to do in Raid, we're giving you the option to run your multi-battles in the background while Raid is open. You'll be freed up to sort your artifacts, test out new gear combinations on your champions, and handle other account logistics. Off the back of that, we're also working on enabling super raids in the campaign. Imagine running Nightmare Stage 12-3 in the background with super raids enabled while getting your artifacts ready for your newly upgraded champions. Sweet, sweet synergy.
So it does sound like you'll be able to do multi-battles and then still interface with the game, but you won't be able to run another battle. So you can't like run Dragon in the background and then do Clan Boss because those are 2 battles. But it sounds like you may be able to, you know, do a gear cleanse or gear up a champion, or maybe even create like team compositions in, you know, the team saved area or the AI, but you probably won't be able to run 2 types of battles simultaneously.
Finally, we're working hard to bring instant battles to the Hydra. There's not much to say yet, but keep an eye on the news. We'll share something as soon as we can. And that's not all. We've also got a rework of the market.
Finally? Finally, they're reworking the market? This is the Altar of Souls, though, but maybe they're going to combine the market with some of these other markets that they have in the game, including, like, you know, the Bazaar for 3v3 arena and the clan shop. Maybe they'll put them all together in the same place with the market. It looks like that's what they might be doing here, which would be nice, but I hope it's just not an organizational thing. I hope they also make the market just viable. I mean, relevant, right? There's nothing past the first like 2 weeks of the game. Nobody buys anything from the market except probably like mystery shards and maybe the occasional uncommon champion when you're doing like a champion training or something, or a champion chase. That's it.
Improvements to gear upgrading and auto selling, and more coming soon, so stay tuned. And now comes the time to...
Okay, so let's just talk about quality of life upgrades. I like the fact that they're doing this. All of them sound good. I don't know if they'll all come out in the next patch, or this is just previewing what we're likely to see over the next 3 to 6 months. It could be that kind of thing. We know that this clan boss is coming relatively soon, but is everything coming with it? I don't know. They didn't really commit to it, so it might be sort of a rollout over a few months, but it's all still good stuff, and I'm happy to see that, you know, these changes are coming.
Meet the star of today's episode. Please welcome the one and only, the Chimera! The Chimera is Teleria's 3rd clan boss, and its den is a dangerous place for would-be heroes who go in search of treasure. First things first, this isn't anything like the Demon Lord or the Hydra clan boss fights. In fact, it's not like anything we've ever done before, but more on that later. Our hard-working artists and modelers spared no time or effort making this monster of mythical proportions come to life. They had to do 4 times the work, too, as the Chimera has 4 forms it'll cycle through during the fight. There's the Ultimate form, the Ram form, the Lion form, and the Viper form. Each form comes with awesome visuals and its own set of unique skills which will require a special approach to handle. Here's how it works. The fight always begins with the Chimera in its ultimate form, and it will change forms every 5 turns on a preset rotation. You'll know exactly what's coming and when, so you can prepare accordingly. We also didn't want this fight to drag out, so after 65 boss turns, the Chimera will escape, ending the fight. What makes this fight really stand out against the other clan boss fights are the trials. Each of the...
Okay, before we get any further. So, first of all, boss looks cool. I like the mechanic. It's basically 4 bosses in one, right? So you have the ultimate form, which is all 3 forms combined, like a Voltron. and then you have the 3 independent, like, animal forms, and they swap every 5 turns. I wonder if it's in a predictable rotation, you know, like it's going to go ram, then lion, then viper, or if it's going to just do it randomly, or if you can even force which form comes out, because all of that would be kind of interesting tactically. The fact that it's only 65 turns is kind of cool too, because one of the things that we struggle with the other content is how much time we spend in game. So if this can, you can see the timer there. It actually says 18 minutes and 42 seconds, and it's only at turn 29. I don't know if that's reasonable. Like, that might be just the way they recorded this. You know, like, hopefully it doesn't take 40 minutes or 45 minutes to do this boss. That would be unfortunate. I'm hoping for something more along the lines of like a 15-minute boss fight or less. That would be really cool, especially if it's an interesting boss. But, you know, early on, while we're learning it, we may manual it really slowly. And then as we get better, we'll get into full auto battles and stuff like this. And by the way, if you are doing quick battles for Clan Boss and you're doing instant battles for Hydra, please launch the Chimera with instant battles as well. I mean, we probably won't use it for a while, but we shouldn't have to wait 6 months or a year or whatever in order to get instant battles for this content either. Just launch the Chimera with instant battles, please.
Chimera's forms, except the ultimate form, has 9 unique trials that can be completed, broken down into 3 difficulties: easy, normal, and hard. You'll have to do different things to complete them, like placing a certain number of debuffs on the Chimera within a set number of turns, or dealing a set amount of damage using only poison and HP burn debuffs. There's 27 trials in total, and progress will not carry over between battles. You'll need to complete them in each fight. Beware, though, the more trials you complete, the stronger the Chimera's ultimate form becomes. It'll start ignoring.
I like that. That's kind of cool. So you get rewards for fighting in certain ways, like completing certain tasks. But then the more tasks you complete, the harder the boss form gets. So you can also control how difficult the boss ramps up. If you don't do too many trials, you can kind of keep it at a manageable level. And then over time, as you learn the fight or get better gear or get better champions, you can start to ramp up the damage. And I'm assuming the harder the boss, the better the reward, but we'll have to see.
Damage reducing buffs and your champion's defenses. So be careful. If you can complete the trials and fend off the ultimate form's enhanced attacks, you'll net yourself some awesome extra rewards. You'll get special crafting materials that are needed to make high-rarity relics from the Chimera group, as well as gemstones and other goodies. That's on top of all the other rewards you'll get just for fighting the Chimera. Same as other clan boss fights, you'll get personal reward chests for dealing enough damage to the Chimera, which will be doubled if your clan gets it to 0 HP. We're also introducing the Chimera Clash to this new clan boss, which will work the same as the Hydra Clash. Oh, and there's also fragments for a brand new mythical champion up for grabs. As always, keep your eyes peeled.
Man, they just glossed over that right there, didn't they?
As the Hydra Clash. Oh, and there's also fragments for a brand new mythical champion up for grabs.
There's fragments for a brand new mythical champion, and they just kind of threw that in there and went right past it. So that's cool. Another potentially free-to-play mythical champion. We've really got 3 in the game, right? We've got the Lady Mikage permanent fusion. We've got the Carnage from Cintranos, which is really hard to get, but it is technically free. And then there's this one, and we'll see. If this one's a little bit easier than Carnage, I think that would be a good thing. We also don't know much about the champion yet. They'll probably give us more information about that champion in upcoming videos.
As always, keep your eyes peeled for a dedicated video guide coming where we'll go into greater detail about the mechanics of this monstrous new challenge. Now, it wouldn't be a proper What's Next in Raid video if we didn't show off some of the incredible looking champions our artists have been working on. The holiday season is coming, and we're bringing Sir Nicholas's companion, Lady Noelle, into the fold.
Cool.
Don't get on her bad side, though. That kindly grandmother exterior only holds true if you've been nice all year.
I wonder if she's the Christmas fusion. That would be cool if she was the Christmas fusion. I would really like that. I think that's a great thematic Christmas fusion. And, you know, hopefully she's a good champion.
Bells the Reckoner will drop by the holiday celebrations as well, but be sure to watch your presents closely when Talaria's own version of Krampus is around. There are more champions to join them, and we have no doubt they will find a suitable place on your rosters. Whew, man, that was a lot to cover. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you're excited about these changes and updates coming to Raid in the near future. Don't forget to like the video, hit subscribe, and let us know what you think in the comments below.
Okay, so pretty cool stuff here on this video. I mean, they packed a lot into an 8-minute video. I think my video is going to be like 30 minutes just because there's so much to cover there. So again, you might want to go back through and watch. There are a lot of little Easter eggs that they threw in there in terms of graphics. You can see what the relics actually do. You can see some of the other things about the boss. So definitely a cool preview for things to come. Again, I don't know how much is going to actually launch in the next patch and how much will be, rolled out over time. But I do think the sale of Plarium to MTG is impacting not only the direction of this game, for instance, that focus on quality of life, but also what we're likely to get in the future. Now, if you don't know this, Plarium still owns, Aristocrat still owns Plarium. Plarium has not yet been sold. The sale has been agreed to, but it won't actually take place until the first quarter of 2025. So I think when that sale goes complete, when it completes and it actually moves Plarium into MTG's, portfolio, then we may even see an acceleration of some of these changes that I think we're beginning to see right here. But this is likely the influence of the sale and the change in the philosophy of the ownership groups. At least I think that's some kind of influence here on what we're seeing. But if you want more on that, again, let me know in the comments below. Okay, thanks so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed this. I am Colred. I will see you in another video soon.